just bubbles. Sometimes it looks like a hair. I've got 2 and 4 in there, so I should have 8 in here. So I've got 4 over there. So I've got my box together how I want it in the G'day guys, welcome back to Girl in the Garage. Today I'm going to be pouring my new INTORESIN handmade diamond divider organizer, and it's the all set, which is 3 trays and a lid. So let's have a look, hey? So this is our first gorgeous one, which is the lid. So you can see all the faceted diamonds which go all the way around the sides. And we're going to be using Colour Obsession, the Oyster Pearl Shimmer in metallic pigment paste. So that's our first one. And this is our second one. So it's got like little dog paw prints on it. Lots of little crystals and little faceted diamonds all the way around the edge. So for that one, we're going to be using Pink Lady Shimmer, which is a metallic pigment paste, also by Colour Obsession. So all Colour Obsession metallic pigment paste today. And this is the third little organizer tray. So this one's divided into 8 sections, so awesome for rings or earrings. And you can see the little faceted diamonds all the way around the sides. And for that one, we're going to be using Pink Lady Shimmer. So we've got a pink theme going on. And for our last one, which is divided into 4, and around the sides it's got the little paw prints and some faceted diamonds on the top. And for that one, I'm going to be using Pink Frangipani Shimmer. So I haven't used these 3 colours yet. I have used this but in something else, but I'm not sure if you guys have seen it or not. And I have used this one. So these 2 are going to be new. I think we're going to start with this one first. So I think it's sort of the biggest, and that should give me an idea of how much to use, hopefully, on the other ones. So I'm going to make up, I think I'll make up 8 ounces, see how we go. So I'm going to be using my TEEXPERT, my 1-to-1. So I'll grab that and I'll come back when we're ready to mix up our pigment paste. Okay, so I've got my actual 10 ounces. I was going to make up 8, but I did 10. So 5 of A, 5 of B, and again, I'm using my TEEXPERT, my 1-to-1. So I don't want to use a lot of colour because it is very bright and it's a little bit more on the orange side than pink. More like a, I don't know, like a salmon. Not sure if it'll show up on camera. Camera always tends to throw a different colour. I have given it a stir, so I'll give it another stir. So hopefully you can see that. I think it's going to look a lot more orange on the screen than what it actually is. So I'm just going to try that amount and see what we get. Just hoping it doesn't go too orange. because I do want to throw some pink just to go with our pinks. And I don't want all my colours to be opaque. I want them to be translucent. So not see-through, but sort of see-through. So yeah, I think that's good actually. So hopefully you can see it's sort of a salmon, but it's got like a pink shimmer going through it, like a metallic-y, shimmery look. Hopefully that's going to be nice, because I do want to go with my pinks. If it's too orange, it'll probably be a bit how you going. So I'm going to pop this in my vacuum chamber. Hopefully it won't bubble over. So I've got it in such a big cup. I've got some cups on standby just in case. So let me do that and I'll come back when we're ready to pour. Okay, so I vacuum chambered my resin. Still has a few bubbles because I had to transfer it into a couple of different cups, because being metallic pigment paste, it wanted to bubble over. So I think I've got something in there. Let me just get a dotting tool. Might be just bubbles. Sometimes it looks like a hair. No, I think that's just bubbles. So we'll give it a spritz. Now, it's not going to, this is not going to fit in my vacuum chamber. Normally I'd pour half, put it in my vacuum chamber for a little bit. So, can't do that this time. So, I'm just going to try and slowly pour. Trying to get it into all those little divider bits. And I only want to pour it about halfway to start. Now you don't want to spray the INTORESIN molds, the handmade ones, until you know they're actually full. So now just with this little silicone tool, I'm just going to go around the edges nice and slowly. Pull back the sides as well. So hopefully this will get up any bubbles that we may have. I would strongly suggest that you use deep pour, a good deep pour. That way it should take time in the curing process to let all those little bubbles come to the surface. I'm just going to go in here in the divider bits, just pushing that resin all the way, just so it sort of coats my mold as well. So we'll just give that, you know, a good 5 minutes to gas. So we still have time. We have about 20 minutes with this resin, now that I've vacuum chambered it. So I'm going to let this sit for 5 minutes and then I'll come back when we're ready to pour a bit more. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. Let's spritz our resin again. And try and slowly pour it in again. Hopefully I've made up enough. I think I have. I'm just going to coat all this. Just doing that static thing again. What do you think of this colour? I think it's actually really nice. I like it. Have I got enough? Let's just leave it there for a sec. Pull it out a little bit. See one little bubble coming up there. Just run my stick through again. I'm only doing it halfway this time. Lots of little bubbles showing now. Now that's full, I'm going to give it a spritz. Again, spritz my resin. And let's fill it up. Now I'm going to fill it just until it's almost full, because I want to run my tool up under that little edge. I'm going to do that all the way around. It's not quite full enough, because I'm still getting little air bubbles in under there. I might even get my dotting tool, I think. I'll just put a bit more resin in. Let's get our dotting tool. This one's got a fairly big bauble on the end, because I don't want to scratch my mould. And this is just going to encourage that resin to touch those sides, so we don't have any like air pockets. Okay, now I'm just going to push all that around, just so, make sure it's all, probably got resin up there. There's no little air pockets that can create a bubble. Good thing about these molds is you can see through them. You can sort of see where my little air pockets are. With a bit of a tap, just to loosen any bubbles that there may be. Pull out our sides again. Just encourage that resin to go everywhere. Okay, let's fill it right up. I haven't got much resin left, so it'll be interesting to see how much it is once I'll scoop it back into my measuring cup, and then we'll know how much this one takes. So just giving it another spritz now that it's full. But you don't want to do that all the time with your INTORESIN molds. You don't want to use a torch either on them. Okay. I'm going to clean up my sides. That way it's much easier and there's no trimming when we come to demold. So I don't think I've got any bubbles that I can see anyway. Look at that little pour, I do have a bubble up there. So I can go on around one more time for good measure. Hopefully not slop it everywhere. Okay, got quite a few bubbles out. Okay, let's spritz again. And let's see how much resin I've got left. have a look. We got 1.5 ounces. What did I say? Made 10, so 8.5. So this one takes 8.5. So I will write that down on my little bit of cardboard. So that was lucky because I was going to make up 8. Okay, I'm going to babysit this for a while. Keep popping bubbles. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to pour our next little trinket tray. So I've made up another 10 ounces on my TEEXPERT 1:1. So 5 ounces of A, 5 ounces of B, just in case, even though the other one only took 8.5 ounces. So now we're going to do the little 8 divider tray. And we're using Pink Lady Shimmer, which I've already given a stir. So let's just see how this amount looks. Again, I don't want too much. Just wipe it off onto my paddle. Okay. So I can see a nice shimmer. A little bit still not mixed in. Excuse me. Hopefully you can see that. Very pretty. Don't think I want any more. No, I think I'm going to leave it at that. It's very, very pink in my cup. No, it doesn't look like it that way. Or do I want a tad more? Just a little tad more. Just do half. Like the stick again. Okay, let's put the lid on this before we spill it. Clean off my gloves. Okay, let's give this a good mix. And then I'm going to pop it into my vacuum chamber. And we're going to do exactly what we did before. So I will split it and put it into 2 other cups. Because the last one wanted to bubble over. For some reason, metallic pigment paste, I find they get really bubbly in the vacuum chamber. A lot like glitter. Okay. Such a pretty colour. Okay, I'll see how I go with those amounts in my cups. So let me vacuum chamber this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've had to split it. As I said before, it gets really bubbly in the vacuum chamber. So I've basically got 5 ounces in this cup, 2.5 in both my little cups. So I'll just leave them in there and then that will determine how much we've used for this one. So I'll start with this big cup because it only has the mil measurement, which is saying roughly 150 millilitres, which obviously must be 5 fluid ounces of resin. Just going to spritz my resin and we're just going to pour. So I'm just going to do it halfway again, and I want to go in all my little divider bits, and then we're going to run our silicone tool around, all around the edging and in our little divider bits. Okay, let's just leave it at that. So I'm just using a little silicone tool that I've got. So right around the edge. And in between all those little bits. Right. Just pulling out my sides. Bit of a tap. Try and encourage those bubbles to come up. Just love that colour. It's so pretty. Okay, pop you on pause for 5 minutes and I'll come back then. So it's been about 5 minutes. So let's spritz our resin, and this time I'm just going to coat all these little bits. Now I'll gently scrape out my cup. Try not to make any more bubbles. Okay, next cup. Okay, now that that's fully coated, I'm going to give it a spritz. A few little bubbles coming up there. Lots of bubbles coming up in that bit, which you'd expect. Should I not use my dotting tool? No, I won't. I shall use this one. Just gently wiping in all those bits. I didn't go right to the bottom because I did that bit before. Okay, let's keep going. Oops. Let's scrape this one nice and gently. Okay, that's 7.5. Spritz again. And I just want to find my other tool. Wipe off this excess alcohol. Okay. just about full, I think. So let me just get in under this lip. Lots of bubbles coming out. How's that looking? Can anyone see any bubbles up under there? Do you love this colour? I think it's gorgeous. Okay. Okay, let's fill it up. Yeah, that was pretty good. What have we got left? About half an ounce. So this one takes more, so that was lucky I did my 10. So this one is 9.5. Just an ounce more than the last one. Okay. So that was very lucky. Right. I'm going to babysit this, clean up my paddles and cups, and then I'll come back and we'll pour the next one. So this time I've made up 12 ounces. I'll put 4 aside over here. Hopefully that's going to be enough. Probably won't be, but we'll see. So with this doggy paw print one, we're going to be using the Pink Lady Shimmer, which I've already stirred up. So just giving that a bit of a swirl in my paste. Scraped off the back of the stick onto my paddle, and we'll see what colour we have. So it should be a nice light pink, soft pink. And that's looking really pretty. Might just put a tad bit more in. Okay, we'll give that a good mix. Make sure I clean off my stick really good. Pop the lid on now before I spill it everywhere. It can be a little bit messy, the pigment pastes, but they're so pretty, these metallic ones. Okay. Now hopefully we've got enough for this one as well. Thinking they're going to both take more, but what I might do, I won't mix this one up just yet, just in case we need to make some more. It might be wise. What do you think? Okay, let's split this up again because now it's going to want to bubble over. A hair there somewhere, I just saw it. Probably flicked it back in there. Alright, get these debubbled and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got 2 and 4 in there. So I should have 8 in here. So I've got 4 over there. So let's just see if we've got enough. So there's quite a few things you could actually do with these molds. I've got a few ideas, but I just wanted to sort of pour something a little bit plain tonight, just so we could see what they look like. Give us a good idea. I might as well put all that in. So I think some interference colours would be nice in this mould, but we won't do that tonight. I think I'm going to love this little storage tray because it's sort of made from the shape of the most popular tray mold that everybody has and loves. It's just a really nice shape. And hopefully it's going to turn out really pretty and sparkly. And absolutely awesome for organising all your jewellery. But you don't have to use it for jewellery, you could use it for a lot of other things as well. And I have a link in my description box if you are interested. This gorgeous mould, along with a 20% off discount code. So in my description box there'll be a link for each INTORESIN mould, and some are on sale at the moment, and you can also get a 20% off discount with my discount code. So just use a Girl in the Garage all together. No spaces in Girl in the Garage, it's just all together. Don't think it matters if it's all case or lowercase. Okay, now plant my drips. Now I'm just going to run my dotting tool around. Hopefully we haven't got any balls trapped. So ideally, if you don't have a debubbler, well, it's not going to fit in the debubbler, and it doesn't fit in the vacuum chamber, the actual mould, but for your resin, if you don't have either of those two, I suggest using a dip pour, just to allow you a bit more time to release your bubbles. Now I didn't even spritz today. My resin. It's getting late and I'm getting tired and forgetting what I'm doing, which is easy to do. So hopefully we're going to have enough. I want to stir up my other colours, but I'm just worried that I'm not going to have enough. Yeah. Oh, there's my tool. That's what I wanted. So just going around nice and slow. Hopefully we've helped release any of those trap bubbles. Okay, let's let it sit for 5 and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've just cleaned up my large cup and just gave it a bit more of a pull out. Okay, let's keep pouring. So again, I'm just going nice and slow. I'll probably go a bit slower, but I'll get this other one poured because my resin will be getting warm soon. Hopefully we're going to have enough. Okay. Let's put this again. This will pull out again. Bye. Go away. Okay. Probably do with another ounce, but I'm not going to worry. I think that was pretty good. straightforward. This might actually be good. It's really full. Okay. Let's do our sides. A bit more to go. Hopefully, got all my bubbles out. Nice and clear these ones so you can sort of see. I think it's looking pretty good. Right. One spritz with our alcohol. I'm using 100% isopropyl. Okay, let's just move this over. Give it another little squeeze. Right. Let's move on to this one. It's starting to get warm. Okay, so same again. And this one is our, I can never think of the name of it. It is oyster pearl. Wiping off my stick, so I'll stick that in here and go in. And try not to stir like a mad woman. Now my piece is mixing up quite good. I'm not getting any chunks, so I said I was going to show you another way of mixing it up, but I've done that in some of my other more recent videos. Try and remember to link one in the description box, and it'll show you how you can mix up your pigment pastes if they're a bit chunky. Because they get like that sometimes just from sitting on your shelf. Gorgeous. It's pretty warm, so I want to pour it. Hopefully that's not a mistake. Let's just give it a little bit, maybe. No, I'll leave it. I'll wing it. Now, I know I said don't switch your mold. My resin's getting very, okay. Let's pour. I think we're going to have enough. I think I'm going to be a little bit short, which is going to be annoying. Bugger. What? I am going to have to make up a couple more ounces, which I'll do. I'll do that off camera. I don't want to bore you to death. Don't see it again. While I'm going, I'll make sure that my other one is filled up enough. And then in a couple of hours, after I've babysat them for a while, checking bubbles, I will pop it on my heat mat, and we should be able to demold them all in a couple of hours, which will be exciting. Can't wait to see what it looks like. Hopefully it'll be pretty. Alright. So I'll see you guys once these have cured. Okay, it's the next day and these have all cured, so shall we get them out? Love the colours. Okay, let's start with our first one. So we've got a nice salmony colour. Let's hope there's not too many bubbles. Suction's good. Okay, so this is the one with the 4 sections. I'll just flip this over just so nothing gets into it. Okay, let's have a look. Ooh, pretty. Turned out really nice. So it's translucent, so you can just see my glove behind it. It's come out nice and sparkly. A couple of teensy tiny little bubbles that you can hardly see, which is good. So yeah, I definitely use a deep pour on these molds, only because your bubbles have more time to come up, and you shouldn't use isopropyl alcohol in these beautiful gorgeous molds. And don't forget, if you do want to get yourself, you can buy them separately or they come as a set, and I've got the links in my description box along with 20% off discount code, so take advantage of that. But Yeah, lots of the INTORESIN molds are on sale at the moment. So go and check them out because they're absolutely gorgeous. Oh, love it. Okay, let's have a look at our next one. So this was the darker pink. Oh, I'll remove our little bit of cardboard. And suction's always good on these, but once sort of you get a hold of your piece, make sure you got your gloves on so you don't touch the inside of the mould. Just makes a bit of room here for myself. It's coming. This one's got a bit more suction because of the little dividers. Oh goodness. It's got good suction, alright. Definitely wear your gloves while you're demolding these. You don't want to put fingerprints in these gorgeous moulds. Oof. Beautiful and clear. Flip it over. Okay. Let's have a look at this one. Looking good. Beautiful and sparkly. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. No big, huge, massive bubbles, which is awesome. Oh, love it. Now, hoping they're going to stack. Yes, look at that. Beautiful. Now, they all will need just a little deburr, just to take off that sharp edge. But it's not too bad. But yeah, that's awesome. Stack them whichever way you want, that way, depending on your colour scheme. They sit in beautiful. Okay, let's do our next one. I love this pink. It's so pretty. Beautiful and clear. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Beautiful. Look at that. So gorgeous. Love the little doggy prints. I might need a bit more of a trim up because this wasn't as full. So it may have to be the bottom one, yeah. It doesn't look stack on that one. Fits perfect. We may have to go like that. That's okay. We'll work it out. Now for our lid. Yeah, I'm loving these colours together. What do you guys think? Let's hope our lid fits. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh, this is going to be an upside down lid. So you can sit it on like that, or it'll click on better like that. And that again will need a trim. stack these out of the road so we've got some room to play. That's the way I originally wanted it. So I'm just going to give that a trim up so it fits that way. It needs a little slight deburr. Well, I'm going to do that and I'll come back. So I've got my box together how I want it, in the colours how I want it. Now all I did was, because this one and this one are the least cured, I haven't deburred them yet because it's much easier to use your deburring tool after your pieces have fully set. So this one, hopefully you can see I've deburred it. It's nice and clean, beautiful clean edges because it's cured, and so is this one. Whereas the pink one, hopefully you can see, even though it's cured, it's not fully cured, which takes a couple of days, so it's still flexible, whereas these two aren't flexible. So in order to get them all stuck together the way I wanted them, I just used my heat gun and heated up the side for a little bit and then manipulated it to sit on. Now I've got a perfect, they're all stacking perfectly, and I'll deburr this one in a day or two once it's fully cured, but I'm going to leave it sitting like this just so when it sets it'll set properly and there'll be no warping and they'll all stick together. They're cured enough now to be able to keep them sitting together. And same with the lid. I'll deburr this in a day or two because it's not fully cured. So if I wanted it to sit that way, I've still got to do my edges. You can see they're a little bit rough because of the way the mould is, and it's a handmade mould. So you sort of get that. This side's not too bad, but I will deburr that properly once it's fully set. Now, if I did want it this way, I would deburr it and I'd give it a top coat. And you could put, just got a few examples out. So this is the INTORESIN 3D butterfly, which can go that way. And it's quite nice. I like that. You can have it sitting up like that. So that's another idea. So I'd stick that on, UV it on, and also do a top coat. So yeah, it forms like a nice little handle too. These are my extras. So this one I've still got to fill up, but it's very similar to this one. It's a little INTORESIN turtle, very cute. You could always pop him on too. Nice and sparkly, just love them. I've also got a hippo, which has used a couple of different colours, a different project the top was, but these are the same colours as in my box, so that would look cute on there too. I've got the Lotus Flower out again. I love that on there. Probably not everyone's cup of tea. So yeah, if you wanted your lid that way it's locked in, but you can have your lid that way and it just sits there. I've also done them with hinges and a few other ideas, and you'll see that in my other videos. I've got a lid hack for INTORESIN, so go and check that out if you want to see some other ways that you can have your lid up like that and have it locked in. So yeah, hope you guys like that. I think the colours were gorgeous, Tell me what you think in the comments. I'd love to know what colours you would have used. And thanks everyone for watching. And thank you to my members and subscribers. As always, love you guys. And thanks everyone else for watching. And hopefully see you soon for the next video. Don't forget, go and check out the description box if you want to get into Resin Molds, because I've got a link and discount code. So take advantage of it. Alright, thanks again guys. Happy crafting everyone. Bye.